guys, Mike Paranormal Doctor here. So, I just want to talk briefly about demonic entities, especially. So, any investigator that was to go on an investigation and deal with what they perceive as a demonic entity, it's more than likely, but it's also, it may not be. From what I know, spirits that get stuck in this area, that are not so nice show similar behaviors, and I would even go as far as there's similarities. On the other hand, there's differences. So normally when there's a demonic entity near you or by you, it's typically not going to wait to hurt you or mess with you in some type of way. And it doesn't matter. Like, I've seen one this investigation not too long ago. It was on Paranormal Files, and in the house, it's a pretty well known house, and it's pretty crazy for sure. It's haunted for sure. And how another investigator team was talking about it, and they're saying that he didn't want to go back there, and which is fair, 100%. But what he did was, and with this thing, he kind of gave the wrong advice. Well, he did give the wrong advice, and which was to poke the bear. You do not want to, like with a bad spirit. I mean, you could probably get away with it, maybe, but probably not without some small repercussions. With demonic, though, yeah, it can get really nasty, and I know personally from experience. After horrible, horrific things physically, mentally, like you wouldn't even believe some of the stuff that's happened to me personally. I mean, I know what came after me, and the reason why is because I challenged it years ago, which I wasn't doing an investigative type of thing, and yeah, I mean, you don't want to challenge one of these things or call it on, and that's what happened with one of the investigators told Colin from Paranormal Files to basically call it out. It's a mistake to do that, because one, you don't know, if you don't even know a name of what this thing is, it's probably better not to call it out, right? I mean, it's like calling on a crowd of like 10 people, and out of that 10 people is a UFC fighter. So it's kind of like, kind of a dumb mistake. And that's kind of the same thing where you just don't want to call them out, okay, period. You can, and this is Warren based, the Warrens have been known for a while, is use religious provocation or other means. There's other means of going about things without calling it on. And so I think that's probably the best idea if you think that something is not normal as far as, capable of things that we're just briefly starting to understand. I suggest it for anybody who's out there, look up Lorraine and Ed Warren, because they were the original players in the game and who did over 3,000 cases. So, I mean, a lot of stuff that I've learned is from them, but I've also learned from other investigators. The problem with learning with other investigators at this time is that everyone is doing similar things, but going about things a different way. I just feel personally, for me, I do things kind of my way, but at the same time, I'm kind of cherry picking from different people that I've learned from. Especially on YouTube. YouTube's a great place to learn from anything. So, I mean, learn from people that are willing to teach. And right now, there's so much undetermined things in the paranormal field, and it's difficult to get names, especially on spirit boxes, because what happens is you'll get 10, 15 names, right? So, or 5 or 6, and then maybe 3 out of the 6, or maybe 1 out of the 6 is related to the case that you're working on, and all the rest of them, how people perceive that is basically what we're doing is putting a phone in a room full of like 30 people, and everyone's using the phone all at once. And that's kind of what happens a lot of times when the AF or the FM and AM frequency is being manipulated in a way that is best for them. Okay? That's kind of what I perceive it as, but it is pseudoscience because scientifically, at this time, it's difficult because the scientific field and the paranormal field are working so separately. We're not getting ahead, and that's a mistake. I think that, many great studies were done with the American Society for Psychic Research and other. There's a European one which I know I'm aware of. I just can't remember the name right now. That's been around for quite a long time too. So if anyone is in the paranormal field right now is interested, go to them. American Society for Psychic Research, and maybe New England, because that's Warren based too, and the European one, which I can't. It's in UK. I know that much. It's pretty well known over there. So I think a lot of things need to come together, and I think it's important that those things come together for a lot of the answers, because there's every time in the paranormal field there's always a question, and then basically we're trying to figure out the answer. Science is trying to disprove what's happening in the paranormal field. So basically it sets us even farther back instead of working together to come up with test studies, because we know things a lot of times are being created through subconscious, and a lot of things are being created by us, especially haunts, because all this stuff originally came from us anyways. So I think understanding ourselves, understanding what we're fully capable of, is important, and the science field themselves haven't even scratched the surface yet. So that alone irritates me, because what they're trying to do is disprove a lot of things in the paranormal field, even though that they haven't even scratched the surface yet themselves, as far as what human capability is capable of. Hence the amount of percentage of brain power that we use and don't use. Why we use some and don't use the other, we don't know. So I think at that point it's kind of hypocritical at the same time, because they are trying to come down on the paranormal field real bad. It's like, so yeah, I don't get that. Hopefully some people out there can comment below and maybe like add their comments to what I'm saying. I like to hear from you guys. It's important for sure for me. Although I don't have a huge following right now. So hopefully you guys can improve that with me, share it around. I appreciate that. Because the more that I'm able to discuss with other people out in the paranormal field and scientific field especially, maybe I can make a difference in some way. So yeah, I was talking about demonic entities, jumping some other stuff. So yeah, anyway, jumping back to the demonic thing, just know who you're dealing with, know what you're dealing with. Most times you'll get basic answers, basic names. When it's basic and it feels odd, like people know about the sulfur smell and all the rest of that, but there's ones that may not have that, because I think they've caught on for many years that they know that this is occurring with them. So I would only assume that there'd be a switch, a change of some sort, in any way that they can. I mean, there is laws in their world, I guess, so they can only go so far. But the demonic entity's main purpose is to rip your life apart. That's essentially what they're going to do. That's what they do. That's their main purpose. Was it their main purpose before? Probably not. And so there's a lot of other things. There's so many different things that go into all this stuff. But so yeah, my advice is know who you're dealing with, know what you're dealing with first before you call anything out, because it's a mistake if you do. And I know full well, again, there's been many horrific things. Physically, it would probably make most of you throw up, literally. So keep your eye on the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please let me know if you guys are dealing with anything out there in the YouTube world that I can help you out with. I'm more than willing to do so. I'm eager to do so. So, all right, guys, that's my brief ramble. Hopefully, you got something out of this. Until next time. Oh, sorry, I have some clips coming out. I was at the Beck House in Penetang. That investigation is going to be seen soon, sorry. Hopefully in October at some point, because, well, I got to edit it all. And there's a bit of content, so, yeah. Okay, guys.